Hello friends, welcome to this week's webinar. As Cloudforce Sky, we do have our webinars every week where we have a presenter walking us through a demo to a solution of one of our weekly challenges. As always, we are looking forward to learning some new things from this week's presenter. We encourage you to write down your questions or post them on the chat section and the presenter will respond to them at the end of the presentation. Without further ado, let's welcome our presenter for the week who will start by an introduction then walk us through the demo. Welcome.
My name is Sawe. I'm a DevOps Engineer. Today we are going to do the challenge of estimating the cost of deploying a three-tier architecture using the AWS Pricing Calculator. This is an ongoing series of Cloudforce Sky, where we do weekly challenges of various things that we have planned out. Like in the first week, we did design the architecture. The second week, we deployed through the console, and the third week, we deployed through using the IC platform and tools like Terraform. So this week, I share my screen. We are going to look at the pricing calculator and estimate the costs of deploying such a solution. First of all, this is the AWS Pricing Calculator. This is a tool provided by AWS that allows you to estimate the cost of using AWS services for your specific use cases. The tool is useful when planning and budgeting for your projects on the AWS, and it allows you to estimate the cost associated with different configurations of the resources and services. So as I told you, the past few weeks we have been designing and deploying the solution. It was supposed to be part of like week 2 after designing the solution so that we estimate the cost before deploying the solution. So this is my design, where users access the AWS infrastructure through the internet gateway and the application load balancers through the auto-scaling groups, then the web server, which displays the presentation layer of what presents to the users. Then past that is the application layer, which is responsible for the business logic of the application. And lastly, the third part is the database layer for storing and managing data. So as you can see from my application, I grouped it into 3 parts: the public subnet, which is accessible from the internet, and then the RDS instance, the database, and the other one, the application layer, is in a private subnet that is not accessed through the internet, but communicates with each other. So this is my solution that we're supposed to estimate and look at the cost. So as I told you, AWS, you can access the pricing calculator to this URL, calculator.aws/hash, where it will take you through to this portal. So this portal will allow us to do the necessary calculations and estimate a cost. So the first step is click there to create an estimate. So the pricing calculator takes into consideration several things to know your cost, as AWS prices their services first through their location. As you can see, you can choose the region, local zone, or wavelength zone. So every region is priced differently. So you have to take a consideration into that when you're deploying your solution. Also, you have to look at the regulations of concerning how you store your data. Like some regulations have to be country specific, like you can't store your data outside your country, or you can't store a specific data outside like your country, like health data. You have specific regulations into that, so you have to be particular on where you choose your region. So another thing that some regions are costly and some regions are cheaper than others. So you choose the best that suits your situation. So from my architecture, the first thing that we had is we're going to price an EC2 instance. that stores the web and application servers. So you're going to search here from find service, Amazon EC2. If you click that and configure your various configurations. So maybe you can describe your estimate. I'm going to put Cloudforce Sky architecture. The region, I'm going to choose US East. And now you're going to look at the specifications of how EC2 is priced. The first thing that determines price for an EC2 instance is the tenancy. The tenancy, you have three types: shared instances, dedicated instances, and dedicated hosts. So shared, you share a Vim, like a hypervisor with other people. A dedicated instance is you have your own hypervisor, and a dedicated host, you have your own server. So you have to choose the type that suits your application. So you're going to choose the shared instance. The operating system also determines costs. Like Linux, as you know, is open source, and for most instances, it's free. And Windows, you have to get a license, and some other Linux type of instances, you have to have a license for it. So that will also determine the cost of. So make sure you choose. But most applications use the Linux the OS. Another thing that determines cost will be the workload. So you have to choose, estimate the workload for your application. So that is if it has a constant usage, that is like if it's constantly being used every day. We have you can estimate if you have a daily spike. Maybe you can say like maybe on Fridays you have more users for Fridays or Mondays, so you can just estimate the days you might think you have a spike for your application. Weekly spike, you can choose the weeks where you estimate the spike, or the monthly spike. So it's just basically what you estimate your application to be used. I'm going to choose the constant usage. So I'm going to choose 4 instances, 2 web servers and 2 application servers. But as you can, if you remember, my application had an auto scaling group. So depending on the usage, it will increase the web servers, or either horizontally or vertically, according to how you configure the auto scaling group. So just going to give a low estimate of 4 to start with, and then you're going to choose the instance type. As you can see, we have various types of instances. It determines the type of usage that you estimate for your application. So I'm going to use a T3 medium. That has 2 vCPUs and 4 gigabits of memory of RAM. So another thing that determines cost is your payment options. If you have a dedicated usage over a period of time, you can choose the compute savings plan. So this savings plan, you reserve an EC2 instance for a long period of time. So you can see we have 2 options, maybe a year or 3 years. And the payment options, maybe upfront, a partial upfront, or no upfront. So all these determines the cost that will go towards how your EC2 instance will be priced. So we have another savings plan, which is either EC2 savings plan, which is either for 1 year or for 3 years. And then you have on demand, where basically where you request your server for when you need it. So you don't need to reserve. And then the spot instances, basically you borrow server time from other instances. So I'm going to choose the compute savings plan for 1 year, the no upfront cost. Okay, and these are the options. You're going to choose an ABS volume. We have several options for general purpose SSD, provisioned IOPS SSD, throughput optimized, called HDD, and magnetic. So I'm going to choose general purpose, maybe the 1000 IOPS. think I'm going to leave this as a default. I'm going to enable monitoring, data transfer, going from the internet is free, maybe 1 TB per month. And then interregion transfer, maybe 500, 400 GB per month. Band, I'm going to leave this one. Elastic IP and this one. So all these options I'm going to leave as a default. I chose for instances. Okay. So I'm going to save and add the service. Another thing we're going to configure is the RDS volume. So you're going to search here RDS. So I'm going to use, as you can see, we have various RDS instances from Oracle, SQL servers, MariaDB, MySQL, Postgres, the Outpost. So the instance I architected is going to be RDS MySQL. So you're going to configure that. Let it load. So Cloudforce, MySQL. Yes. So the same region. Yes, US East. You have one. I'm going to change this to maybe a smaller instance. Yeah, I'm going to use a medium DB84G medium with 2 vCPUs and 4 gigabits of RAM. Utilization on demand, maybe 100%, but you can reduce it to fit your need. Maybe it's a single AZ or multi-AZ. We are going to use a multi-AZ because we are looking at how to make sure that the application is highly available. So multi-AZ, yeah, maybe the pricing model, if it's on demand or reserved, so I'm going to leave it on demand. Going to leave that. So the storage, we're going to maybe have 500 GB storage of the RDS, or maybe 1 TB, 1 TB RDS instance. So retention period, we have a 7-day free tier. You're going to back up maybe 500 GB additional backup and a snapshot of maybe 500 GB too. So going to save that. Another thing you're going to configure is the ELB, Elastic Load Balancer. Again, going to enter the description. The same region, you're going to choose the Elastic Load Balancer. You have 3 options: the application load balancer, network load balancer, gateway, and classic. So you chose an application load balancer. So you have the option of load balancing the region and the outpost. So we are going to use the region. Number of application, we had 2. Processed bytes, lambda functions as targets. Maybe you can choose maybe 10 GB per month or 5 GB per month, just estimating the cost of what you can you look at your application, what type of traffic will it handle. Number of new connections per LB, maybe 500 per minute. Average duration of connection, maybe a second. number of requests per second in the LB, maybe 100. Number of roll version, maybe 100. So that's the LB. Another thing was the VPC. So basically what the various VPC configurations that you are going to enter into your the architecture. So Cloudforce VPC. So the region you assist. So the various services that you're going to use. So maybe a VPN connection, a prevent link, IPAM, reachability analyzers, NAT gateways, data transfer, network analyzers, Cloud One, transit gateways, gateway load balancers, and traffic mirroring. So maybe I can I have a NAT gateway. What else? Maybe I can estimate data transfer. Maybe I can estimate what reachability analyzer. So we can estimate three things. Number of NAT gateways is one. Data processed per NAT gateway can estimate like be 100 GB per month. Data transfer, I think we did for the RDS. So I think this is another for the VPCs now. So like from the internet, just estimate maybe 500 GB per month. Interregion transfer. So we have like 500 per month outbound to the internet, 500 per month GB. Number of connectivity analysis per month. Which can estimate maybe every day twice, so maybe 60 per month. Save and continue. So I think I've configured everything that I needed for my architecture. When you're done, it gives you a cost here, and you can view the summaries. So for the summaries, it gives you a detailed cost for monthly. If you chose the like what you are going to pay upfront before using the services, it will give you a breakdown, the monthly cost and the total 12-month cost for what you are estimated to pay. It also from the services you selected. You can see we had the EC2 services, the RDS, the ELB, and the VPC. It gives you like the upfront cost of if you selected it, the monthly cost for each service. You can see like for EC2 is $98, for RDS is $404, for ELBs are at $137, for the VPCs like $100. With the configuration summary of what we chose and configured, and we are going to estimate. So once you're done, you have options to export. The first option is through the CSV. The CSV will give you an Excel CSV file that you can use maybe to calculate and estimate cost. You can see here, it gives you like a breakdown of the estimate, the region we chose, the various descriptions, the services that we had, monthly cost, the first year, currency, and the configuration summaries of what we configured. So this is the CSV format that we can export, and looks like that. You can also export through PDF. which will give you our document that looks like this. So basically, it's just a summary of what through the PDF format. All the instances that you chose, the services from EC2, RDS, DPCs, and also the configuration summary. As you can see, like we chose the shared tenancy, a Linux operating system, workload of 4 instances, a T3 medium instance, compute savings plan of 1 year, monitoring, inbound internet for 1 TB per month, outbound not selected, and intra-region of 100 GB per month. So you can see all the summaries that is being estimated for us. So you can according to your browser, I think it's different. You can export and save as PDF. Another option we have is through also JSON format. As it opens up, you can also share your estimate to other stakeholders that you have. So basically, it gives you the estimate in a JSON file and format. As you can see, the estimate, the cost, the monthly cost, the 12-month cost, and the services and everything in the JSON format. So if you want to share with other stakeholders, we can also share. It will generate a public link for the estimate. This public link will link to this page. As you can see, it will link to this page where we created the estimate. So you can see basically it's just the same page with the estimate, and also you can edit it and add other services and create groups and do what needs to be done. So I think that's it for today's presentation on pricing. Yeah, thank you.
Wow, that was a great presentation, and we are very grateful both to our presenter and to all the participants that took time to attend this week's session. As always, we encourage you to go out and try out the solutions presented and keep growing in your expertise. If you would like to watch a rerun of this webinar, consider following us on YouTube. You can also follow us on LinkedIn via our handle Cloudforce Sky. Thank you all and have a wonderful evening. See you on the next.